All right, and welcome back, everybody, to the Everything Arrowhead podcast. My name is Nick Calderone, and I, this week, am broadcasting to you from Yellowstone Lake in Wyoming. Of course, Yellowstone National Park, joined today by my buddy and creator, JD Manning. JD, I again, thank you so much for helping me do this, allowing me to do this from the road. It's somehow working thanks to Starlink and a borrowed generator.
No, I think it's great. We could have just taken a break, but that's no fun. And
No.
honestly, I think people want to see where you're at. I know I do. I'm curious about where you've been and what you're doing. So, no, this is great.
The lighting could be better, admittedly. I've got a lot of shadow. The sun is setting right there. But hey, you know what? We're doing what we can with this. Um,
So let's have fun with it.
I agree. I agree. So, speaking of fun, I've read the this week's newsletter, and it looks like you've had quite a bit of fun. You're actually, believe it or not, making me a little homesick. I've been 2 weeks away from the Arrowhead neighborhood, and I'm having a great time. But some of the fun things that you've gotten to do, it's making me a little homesick.
Yeah, my father and my son and I, we had thoughts of going to the baseball game last week when there was a day game, and kind of worn out. It's that point in the summer where I don't want to spend an hour in the car anymore than I have to. So tried to think of something fun we could go do. So we went over to check out the Andretti Indoor Karting facility, and we had a really good time there. We didn't do any of the karts. Um, it's kind of a long story on that.
You're
We did
saving it for when I get back, so you and I can
exactly.
go racing, right? Because
Yeah, we'll do a better job of showcasing what's happening there as far as the go karts. The racing simulator looks really cool too, and my father's really active. He's actually the acting president of a local Phoenix Miata club. So he went and talked to the management about putting on an event there, so I've got a lot of details on that. That may be something that we want to put a group together from Everything Arrowhead and go down and take on the racing simulator and the indoor go karts.
yeah, that is something I've wanted to do. And a little news about Mario Andretti and a little bit of trivia about myself. I actually got to ride in an Indy car, a two-seat Indy car with Mario Andretti driving. Yeah, it was at the Phoenix International Raceway. Mario was my driver. I was in the back seat. We went about 130 miles an hour around PIR, and it was one of the most memorable and exciting things I've ever done in my entire life. Just to be with Mario and say I did that, it was awesome. So when
Yeah.
they showed that they were opening something up right here in our neighborhood, I was super excited, and I honestly can't wait to get to go back with you and experience it for the newsletter. If you can wait to do it, it
Yeah.
would be awesome.
They've got a smoking deal. If you're into doing their go karts, they've got a great promotion right now. But we hit the video games pretty hard, and they have a lot of. If you're into driving video games, my son's 20, so we hit it pretty hard on those. There was one that was kind of like a railroad roller coaster simulator that basically just shook the hell out of you, and it kind of got me going a little bit on some motion sickness. So I didn't take on the racing simulator, which I really wanted to do, but uh, just didn't feel up for it at that point. But we had a really good lunch. The food there was really good. It was all from scratch. So I'm excited to go back. We had a great time. Um, and so it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully we can get a group put together. It'll be good.
Sounds awesome. Uh, Speaking of this, if you're gonna do something like this, do it soon, right? Because the kids are going back to school. What was it? August 31st, or no,
No,
July 31st.
July 31st this week.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
both
crazy.
Peoria and Glendale schools are back.
That's see to me, I can never quite get used to that because I'm an East Coast kid. So we didn't
Yeah,
go back to
it's
school until after Labor Day.
yeah.
Yeah. So when I hear kids are going back to school in July, it just blows
Yeah,
me
that's
away.
unheard of. I don't think my kids ever started in July. It's getting out of hand.
Wow. Yeah, that seems to be a short summer, but I get it. It's hot. How much can you really do outside? And you get the school year over with and get out while the weather's still good. What other implications does that have, JD, on the kids going back to school this coming week? Is there anything else we need to know about as far as
No,
kids going back?
just that, as good community members, if you're driving near the schools, be sure to, pay attention to the 15-mile-an-hour speed limit zone or signs. The crossing guards are volunteers, so be nice to them. They're doing a hard job that not everybody wants to do, and they're juggling a lot with traffic and kids that can be unpredictable. So if you're driving by the schools, just be cognizant and, be a defensive driver. Keep on the lookout for the kids that are walking to and from school.
Good reminder. Good reminder. Again, in the Arrowhead newsletter that you do such a great job putting together, I was reading the HTeaO review, like this whole new specialty tea place. That sounds pretty darn good and kind of refreshing. Tell me about that.
We're wrapping up at Andretti, and I think it had opened just a day or two before. So it was middle of the afternoon. We were ready for a something cold and refreshing. So we headed over to HTeaO, and it's basically a fast food place that's geared towards iced tea. They've got a really long drive-through. I guess it's probably more like a Dutch Brothers than anything, but you can go through the drive-through. They've got about 20 different flavors available. You can go inside. You kind of help yourself. You can mix and matching the flavors you want. There's different fruit slices that you can add to your drink. So it's very customizable. And then when you're done building your creation, you just head up to the counter and pay for what you got and
So
be on your way.
it's sort of like a buffet style kind of thing, like just
Well,
different taps of iced tea, or how,
it's
explain
kind
that.
of like, you go into a convenience store and there's all the different fountain drinks available. It's the same thing, just 20 different things of iced tea.
Okay. And this isn't, it's new to us, but it's not necessarily new. It's a big Texas chain. Is that right?
Yeah, I was surprised. There's probably 50 to 80 locations. Looking at their map, they're all over Texas and Oklahoma, and I think even up into Kansas and Missouri. There might be some east of Texas as well. I didn't pay that much attention to the map, but I was surprised by how many locations they have.
That does blow me away. I mean, I'm a iced tea lover. I love a great peach tea. I love a good
Yeah.
raspberry tea. But I would never have guessed that something like that could be could support a whole business on its own. But you were telling me the line's pretty long.
I mean, we were there kind of middle of the afternoon. I imagine it's pretty busy in the morning. I see it as sort of a coffee replacement, or if people are wanting to pick me up in the afternoon, they can stop by and grab an iced tea. Drinks were about $4 a piece. And we didn't get I'm sure we got medium, so I'm sure you could spend more than that. And they had coffee drinks available too. But with the popularity of the dirty sodas and chains like Swig, I think this kind of fits in with that. People are a little burned out on the traditional Starbucks and Dunkin' and Dutch Brothers. So this gives you an opportunity for something different that's not as it may have a lot of sugar in it, but it's not as heavy as a Frappuccino from Starbucks.
Dirty soda. I don't know that. I don't know that term. What is it?
Where
What is a
you
dirty
been,
soda?
man? I thought you were like cultured and worldly.
No. Oh, I'm
It's
completely out of
basically
touch.
the it's a chain. Well, it's a concept that I believe originated in Salt Lake City or in parts of Utah, where you mix sweet cream with different flavors of fountain soda.
Oh, well, I know that. That's an Italian soda. That's what I
Yeah,
know
I
that
guess.
as. That's an
I guess
Italian
you're
soda.
right.
Yeah. All right, we'll get into that some other time. I because Swig is on our list as well.
Sure.
Sorry for my camera shaking. That's just that's just the beach breeze cruising by and
Yeah,
shaking
I feel
my.
real bad for you.
I am sure you feel super bad. Let's see what else is on our list in the newsletter. The night market that we had talked about. That's
Yeah,
opening up this coming week, right?
yeah. Their first one's going to be this Saturday, the 2nd of August, and they're going to be there every Saturday, August through September.
And remind me again where that is. That's at
It's
the
at
Peoria
the
Sports Complex night market. Do you know exactly what time that starts up?
I don't. I believe I saw 6 to 9, which
Okay.
was their typical hours. So if you show up at 6 o'clock, I imagine they're going to be open. I don't think they want to start too much later than that.
I love that idea. I really do. And this
Yeah, I
is,
do too.
like I said at the beginning, that's kind of makes me a little bit homesick because that's something that I love that idea. It's something I would love to go do with my family. And I'm really glad that they've brought it up to the Peoria Sports Complex because it's right around the corner from our Everything Arrowhead neighborhood. And what a fun thing to do in the middle of the summer to go out to the market and, get some fair food, get some food truck kind of food, get some gifts. I'm excited to try that. Do you know when and how long that's going to be running for?
I The latest I saw was through the end of September. I would imagine they will extend that. You know, once the weather cools off, I imagine they'll be able to draw a bigger crowd. So I would guess that they're going to extend that. One of the unique things about their current setup that I saw is that there is going to be a place where you can, if you get food from a food truck, you can take it indoors to eat. So I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
sure if there's, I don't know too much about the
Well,
Peoria
I
sports
might
complex facilities, but
I might have a little insight in that because my family and I did one of their Christmas markets at the Peoria Sports Complex, and it was similar where
yeah.
you go to the food trucks and they had a couple of uh, I guess meeting rooms
Okay.
around the ballpark that you could dip into and either warm up or in this case cool off. So I imagine they'd probably do the same kind of thing. So yeah, if you're considering going and you're thinking, well, maybe it's
Every,
too hot, I don't want to go. It does. I haven't been, but it does look like they're going to have provisions for you to stay cool
yeah.
and be a little
And,
bit comfortable.
that's the one thing that the whole food truck concept I've never really grasped. I've had some good stuff. It's usually a little overpriced in my opinion, but I'm kind of a tightwad. But um, uh, and then if it's just one food truck and there's not tables set up or whatever, you're just kind of standing around eating, which isn't always the easiest thing, especially if it's something elaborate or some
Yeah.
huge creation that you have to eat with your hands can be challenging.
Yeah, my wife and I love the food trucks. But the one thing I've always questioned, I would love the food trucks to sell smaller portion items. So you can try a bunch of different things. Can I get like a
Yeah,
small corn dog and then I want to try somebody's pizza or I want to try one of the other vendors tacos or something. But you go to one of these food trucks, you drop 18, $19, whatever it is, and you're stuffed. But there's 12 other trucks that I want to taste. I wish I could just do like
yeah.
a food truck tasting.
I mean, I get it. You want to, as a business owner, you want to give good value for the money that your customers are paying. So, in order to make it, economically feasible, you need your per customer ticket to be as high as you can. So,
Yeah.
you need to give a pretty good serving size to accommodate that.
Yeah, makes sense, and it's clearly why I'm not a businessman, and I'm sitting out here in the wilderness with a microphone and a laptop. But yeah, well, hey, here I am, making the best of it. Okay, this other thing, the crispy cones, we had talked about it on a previous episode that it was coming, but the crispy cones is now open over by Arrowhead Grill, and when we were first talking about it, honestly, JD, I'm like, okay. I didn't quite get it, but when I read the newsletter and I saw what was happening and I saw what they were doing, and I'm like, oh, that looks delicious. That's gonna be delicious. So if you've ever been to Europe, and you've ever been to any of the markets in Europe, you'll see that they do these kind of dough cones that they stuff with all kinds of stuff. That's what this is. It's one of those just European dough cones, is the way I would explain it.
Evidently, this style of dessert is rooted in Czechoslovakia, per their website, or the
Okay,
Czech Republic, or whatever it's called. It's
and I was there. That's where I
There you
first had it.
go.
I was in the Czech Republic, probably about
So
15 years ago
yeah,
at one of their Christmas markets, and I remember thinking this is one of the most delicious things I've ever had. So they take the dough, it's formed in a cone and rolled in sometimes sugar, cinnamon, or it looks like in this case anything you want, and
yeah.
stuffed with whatever you want. And it's not a waffle cone. It's not like an ice cream waffle cone. It's like a pastry. And boy, again, I can't wait to come home and try that.
Well, we've got a lot of really cool stuff going on here. A lot of uh, gonna have a few extra sessions at the gym to accommodate all the sweet treats I got to tackle.
Right. Now you haven't been to that one yet,
No,
correct?
I haven't. They just opened on the 25th of July, so um, haven't had a chance to get over there yet. But my daughter keeps asking, so may have to head over there soon.
Yeah, it sounds like a good like date night kind of place. Maybe after dinner date night.
Yeah, dessert sales may go down at the Arrowhead Grill.
Right, right. Well, that's great. Hey,
Mm.
you could always have a healthy dinner over at Picasso's and then
Yeah,
go to have your crispy cone.
there
Uh,
you go.
I cannot tell you enough that I do remember having something like that in the Czech Republic, and I thought to myself back then, 15 or so years ago, wow, how come we don't do something like this in the
Yeah.
States? And see, there's an see again, I'm not a businessman. If I was, maybe I would have done that and made myself millions of dollars by doing something like this 15 years ago.
The distance between idea and execution is usually the biggest hurdle.
Oh, this is a good one. This is interesting. This HOA doctor.
Yeah,
Oh,
this can be wild.
is this gonna be just like the new gossip trend? Is this gonna maybe replace Nextdoor? Tell me what you know about HOAdoctor.com.
So my understanding is it's someone that was agitated with their own HOA situation and decided that, you know what, there needs to be a place where people can share their experiences, good or bad, with an HOA and the HOA management companies. So HOA Doctor, I don't know the origin of that name, but the website's launching next week, or excuse me, in August. So we'll see what it looks like, or if it's just a place kind of like Nextdoor for people to go and be really mean to their neighbors and people on their HOA boards. I think if it's done right, I think it could have some value. As a realtor, I get people asking me all the time about HOAs, and I can only share my own experience, which is somewhat limited. So I think if it's done right, there could be some real value in it.
Oh, this is gonna just turn. I feel like it's just gonna turn into a giant
Yeah,
gossip.
that's what my fear too is. It's just going to be people ranting. When people have a good experience at a restaurant, they're much less likely to leave a review than if they have a bad one. And so I think
Right.
the same thing's going to happen here.
But okay, even if people rant, uh, sometimes these rants need to come out.
Sure.
Sometimes we need to know what's going on. Um, I would argue if you do want to get involved or have a problem, just go to the HOA meeting, right? Just get
Yeah.
involved
I
instead of
mean,
getting online and just venting about it on a website. But we'll see. I mean, right
you,
now we're just speculating, right?
yeah, well, I have a unique experience in moderating the Everything Arrowhead Facebook group. I get to see firsthand when people go and want to rant about what's happening in the neighborhood. So, um, and I usually get lumped in with any perspective. So I find it especially comical. So we'll see how the moderation of this new website goes.
It just said when I looked at it earlier, it just said coming next week, right? It didn't give any kind of launch date or anything
Okay,
like that.
well, I saw it coming in August, so
Okay.
we'll see. Um, it made the news, and that's where I saw it. So we'll see if it comes to fruition. I hope it
So,
does.
and this is a nationwide thing. It's not just an Arizona thing.
Um, my understanding was it was just launching for Arizona, but maybe it is a national thing.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on that. If you want
Yeah,
the link, it's on everythingarrowhead.com. You can check out the HOA Doctor website and see what your neighbors have to say or what you have to say about your particular HOA or management company. I think there definitely could be some value in this. You've got every HOA's got their own management company, and in many cases, so these management companies can be good. And oh, I just had a bug fly right into my mouth. See, that's the the outdoor experience. But no, if you've got a great management company, you do want to talk about it. I'm pretty satisfied with the management company in our HOA. I think they do a pretty good job. For the most part, I get responses to things that are going on, and so for other communities that may not be satisfied, maybe they'll look to switch, and maybe this will make management companies be on the ball a little bit more if there's a whole community keeping them honest, right?
Yeah, hopefully it adds another layer of accountability from that from the HOA management companies. Um, I I feel for the managers because it's a very thankless job. I spent probably 4 years in commercial property management, and the only time the phone rang is when something was wrong and somebody was upset about this or that. Nobody ever called to tell me what a great job we were doing, sending their rent invoices every month. And so it I can see the side that, the managers are just people too, and they're just doing their jobs, but it can be infuriating too, because I've been on the receiving end of those letters that I felt were unjust. And, I have my own rants and raves about it. So, um, it's a tough job, but
It's a
it's
tough job.
definitely an interesting concept.
Yeah, definitely a tough job. All right, JD, another fun episode. This one
Yeah.
for me, particularly a little bit more fun being out here at Yellowstone Lake. It's been nice. We've spent about 5 days here in the park in Yellowstone. If you're thinking about coming up here, there's definitely some congestion, but I found the congestion is around the popular spots. Of course, the Geyser Basin, Old Faithful, but surprisingly, you can find uh, solitude pretty easily just by going. I mean, Yellowstone Lake is huge, and there's nobody around us right now. So, if you're looking for a little bit of peace and quiet, you can still find it in your national parks, especially here at Yellowstone Lake. Next time I pop up, I'm not quite sure. I might be somewhere in Bozeman or Helena. We're on our way to Glacier National Park next. So,
Right on.
any questions for me, JD?
No, we're good, man. Just be safe on the road.
I will, man. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for joining us for another episode of the Everything Arrowhead podcast. As always, you can catch the Everything Arrowhead newsletter by signing up at everythingarrowhead.com. JD and I do this for you guys, for our neighborhood, because we both really believe in the Arrowhead community. We both really believe in the Arrowhead neighborhood, our neighbors and our friends. So like, subscribe, share, send us your ideas. We'd love to hear what you want to hear on the next podcast and in the next newsletter. Thanks so much.